And welcome to TVC News at 10. This edition features Flashback, a recap of stories that made headlines during the week. First, today's news. President Bola Tinubu has condemned the killing of 5 soldiers in Abia State by gunmen who were said to be enforcing a sit-at-home order in Abia State. The president, in a statement, described the attack as barbaric and promised to come down heavily against those who have made it a habit of needlessly attacking officers of the armed forces. President Tinubu ordered security agencies to fish out the perpetrators of the Aba attack and those calling for sit-at-home in the southeast. The president also offered his condolences to the families and appealed to officers of the armed forces on peacekeeping duty not to be discouraged by the unfortunate incident in Aba. The soldiers were on peacekeeping duty in Abia State when they were murdered by gunmen. Well, let's get more on the president's reaction to the killing of soldiers in Abia State. TVC News State House correspondent Femi Akonde joins us on the news at 10. Femi, talk to us. We see that the president's body language is sounding really, or feels really tough. Can you help us understand his mood over this attack on the military?
Well, as the president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, it's normal for him to speak up in situations like this when officers and men of the army who are on duty protecting lives and property, protecting the country against this kind of attacks from terrorists are then then come under attack. The president is not. You recall that in Okwama, Delta State, when this happened, the president was also really touched and came out with a strong statement after that. But at that time, he also cautioned the army and asked them to restrain themselves, in the face of all of these. And the president also personally attended the funeral of the slain soldiers here in Abuja, the slain 7 soldiers in Okwama. But this is becoming one too many. The president also made reference to unprovoked attacks, like what happened at Banex here in Abuja, where 2 personnel of the Nigerian army were attacked by some people there at Banex, and it led to the closure of that particular hall, that particular plaza. It's like the ICT hub in Abuja, led to the closure of that place for about 2 weeks. So, this is becoming rampant now, where citizens attack military men, attack policemen, and all of that. We have also seen that strong statement from the army saying that indeed they will retaliate the killing of their personnel. What the army now is talking about is the collusion between these terrorists and people in that community, because without the support of the community people, these kind of attacks would not have been successful. Because what the army is saying is that apart from the vehicle that they came in, at other adjoining buildings, they were thought to also fire from other adjoining buildings close to that checkpoint. So the army is seeking the support of citizens to provide information, provide intelligence that would help forestall all of these kind of attacks. But the president coming out to also support the army in its moment of grief goes a long way to also boost the morale of the armed forces and also make them know that indeed the president is behind them, will continue to provide all that they need to ensure that they carry out their duty of keeping the country safe and rid the whole country of terrorist threats, especially that now posed by the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra. Sarah.
Particularly this statement that we've seen that the president personally signed this particular statement. And this is the first time the president will be coming out reacting to the sit-at-home order by the non-state actors. Are we likely to witness an end to this in the southeast?
Well, I think it's what this signals is that the military will go all out on an offensive this time around to ensure that they get into the enclaves of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra and pick them out of their enclave, make some arrests, and they are going to be, I'll tell you that they are going to be very forceful this time around in these operations that we will see in the southeast in the coming days. We're already reading in the papers and hearing on the news that there's already heavy deployment of military personnel in Abia State. The army will remain there, reinforce the number of troops in that area, and also in the entire southeast, to also give the people there, the citizens there, that sense of safety, because the sit-at-home order in some parts of the southeast is still being enforced. On Monday, non-state actors will tell citizens to sit at home and not come out to carry out their normal duty, normal and lawful activity. And these people, it appears as if they now obey the non-state actors rather than the federal government, the state government, and indeed security operatives in the country. So it's what from the president's statement, is indicative that indeed the federal government of Nigeria has had enough. If the local authorities in these states cannot rein in these non-state actors, it's time for the federal government to take that decisive action and step in and ensure that the lives, businesses, property of the people in the southeast are protected, and these non-state actors that continue to threaten their safety, and also the safety, and also continue to pose a threat to national security, are totally put out of business.
Of course. Femi Akonde, our State House correspondent, live for us, giving us reactions from the president's statement on the killing of 5 soldiers in Abia State. Thank you so much for helping us understand the statement that the president just dropped. We're still on the killing of soldiers.